Welcome to Jen Cares, powered by Chozen Live Podcast. Here we engage in tough talks and meaningful conversations. Each week, we feature a guest that will help us stay in the know. We're a podcast that brings the community to you every Monday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow our page. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so that you never miss a show. Now, here's your host, Jen Cares.
Good evening and welcome to Jen Cares, powered by Chozen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, the founder of Chozen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, empower, motivate, and strengthen individuals and families. As always, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in, for liking, for commenting, and coming back again. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. So friends, this is about to be good. Let me tell you ahead of time. Be prepared to share because there's some good information that's about to be shared, okay? All right. So if you did miss last week's episode, do yourself a favor and go and check it out. We had the amazing Andrea Blasting game. We talked about Beyond the Beat. And let me tell you, I had tears in my eyes. We had such a good time. This whole month of all shucks has been amazing. We had Confidence with Brandy, Brief Speaks with Yolanda, and then that last week. But tonight, I'm almost sad that this month is over. But this has been an action-packed month. And again, if you missed any episode, be sure to check it out on our YouTube channel or here on Facebook. We thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight, we're closing out our All Shucks. And All Shucks was the theme because we're getting in our business just a little bit, okay? So All Shucks, show me the money. And we know that when we talk about money, it's like, oh, wait a minute, huh? One, we don't want people to know if we do got a lot of money because then they're going to want it. We don't want people to know that we don't got no money because we robbing Peter to pay Paul and trying to keep up with the Joneses and things. But friends, All Shucks. If we're trying to establish some things, we got to be able to know where our money is. The green money, the ones, if you ever play Monopoly, you know how we got in six, because that's how serious it was. We were so protective of our money. We were so protective of our property. And then as we got older, we got a little lax. They was like, oh, it's okay. It'll work out. But friends, tonight, oh, shucks, she about to get into our business. I hope you are ready. I have my notebook and pen as always. So you grab your notebook and pen too, so that you can take some notes to help you to be able to show me the money. Tonight, we have the amazing Rachael Hanible for Show Me the Money. So help me welcome and introduce the amazing Rachael. All right. Did I do it? There we go.
You did it.
There we go. How are you doing?
I'm unstoppable. How are you?
You know, I like that. I'm doing well. I like this unstoppable. Tell me, how did you get the unstoppable? What made you start saying I'm unstoppable?
You know what? I just was like, hey, these affirmations that people say, I said, I'm just going to put it in my, how am I doing? I'm unstoppable. You know what I mean? I don't want to give the generic, I'm fine, I'm okay. I'm better than okay. I'm unstoppable.
Unstoppable, friends. Y'all wait till next week. Well, next week is a holiday, but the week after, I'll be like, how you doing? I'm going to have me affirmation too. I might have it before the night is out. I like that. I'm unstoppable. Because sometimes life be life and you want to stop. But if I affirm that I'm unstoppable, I can't give up just yet.
Come on here.
I love it. Whew. She ready. Y'all ready? Here we go. As here at Jen Cares, we always start with a quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. Again, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. What are your thoughts on that quote?
I mean, it's true. I mean, of course, once we get the knowledge, we have to apply it. The application is really the power. But yeah, you got to get the knowledge first for sure.
And we got to invest in it because that means sometimes it costs money for me to get the knowledge.
Sometimes.
It's not always free, huh?
No. The best lessons gonna cost you the most.
The best lessons are going to cost you most. Friends, I was just telling somebody the other day that I was doing something and I was on the free part of it. And I said the free is showing that everything free ain't good for you. Sometimes you got to invest because you get a higher caliber of a service. You know, you can do the basic, but when you upgrade one time, it's like, oh, this is nice. But to be able to invest, we got to be able to show me the money to know where the money is going, to even know if you're able to upgrade. So this is about to be good. So friends, I have compiled some questions as always, but if you have any questions, comments, all of those great things, again, while we have the expert, this is your time to get some answers to your questions, to get some clarity and insight, okay? If you don't ask your questions, can't say I didn't try to help us, okay? I'm gonna ask my questions, okay? Maybe you'll benefit from my questions, but if you got another one, be sure to drop it down below. So, first things first, who is Rachael?
I am a certified financial educator. I am the founder of Missing Peace Financial Group, where for 10 years, I've been helping others on the road to financial freedom. And I'm also a best-selling author.
Best-selling author, and has been doing it for 10 years. So that means she knows what she's doing, right, friends? That means she's tried some things, found out the best way and things of that sort. And she's here as an expert, certified at that, because she invested in her knowledge. And tonight we're going to benefit from a little bit of interest. But we got to pay attention, got to take the notes, got to apply it. Don't let her 10 years be in vain, okay? Okay. So, in Show Me the Money, we think of, you know, our money and how we get the money and things of that sort. So why is it important to even know where our money is? Or is it important to know where our money is? Let's just go right there.
Of course, absolutely. You have to know where it's coming from, how much is coming in, where it's going, and where you want it to go. You have to know all those things for sure. You have to know where it is, where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there.
And how you're going to do that. And it's easier said than done. Because sometimes when talking about money, people get quiet because they're maybe ashamed. They feel like they're not making enough. Or they don't want to gloat because they are making a little bit more than maybe somebody else and things of that sort. And why do you think the shame comes, whether on whichever spectrum?
It's so interesting because the shame is only for a certain group of people, right? There are other people who don't mind bragging and don't care how you feel about it, right? Or don't even mind saying, hey, I need help, and don't care how you feel about it, right? But there are only a certain group of people that feel like we can't talk about this particular thing. There's guilt there, there's shame there, there's embarrassment there. And that has been part of the work that I've been doing, just making it a comfortable conversation, just making it a judgment-free zone when we're talking about our money, right? Because we've all made money mistakes, right? Even I, right? So it's kind of like, we're just all in here together trying to figure it out together. Let's join the party and we can help each other out.
Yes, I love it because we've all made mistakes. It made me think of a movie. I want to say it was Sprung. I don't know. I could be showing my age too. But he would go to the Mac machine and he tried to get a good receipt. And whatever receipt had the most money, he want to put that in his pocket so that he could come off as being a bowler. Then he would get like a BMW keychain to put on his keys. He doesn't have to drive a BMW, but he got the keychain. So it appears that he is of this higher caliber. So let's talk about that for a second too, of how sometimes we put on airs, because you said it's some people that don't care, they are boastful about it, excited about it, and things of that sort. But then those that are putting on the front, it's hard to put on the front, because what happens when you got on the shoe that got the hole in it that day?
Well, the thing with putting on the front, when you start, you got to keep going. Right? Because once we realize you don't have it, once you stop and we realize you don't have it, we got questions, right? And so it becomes exhausting because you kind of just have to keep it up, right? Get the newest phone again, get the newest car again, get the upgrade again and again, and it just becomes exhausting once you start there.
It does, because the iPhone, I love them. God bless you. I ain't hate on y'all. I don't want the people to come against me. I have an iPhone. I have had the Joy too, and it's been great. But with the iPhone, It's like every 6 months, exaggerating, slight exaggeration, they come out with a new phone and he's like, oh, I gotta get that one. And sometimes the upgrade or update is like a half a piece of cracker, a half a piece of the bread, and you feel like you gotta get it, you know? And sometimes with us feeling like we gotta get it, the sacrifice that comes with that, knowingly and unknowingly, can jam us up.
Yeah.
Because we ain't really
that's
got
what we apply that to everything, right?
Yes.
Footwear, clothes,
Yes.
trip,
Yes.
right? We gotta take another trip and take another trip and take another trip. It's just like all of it. Just the feeling, social media, just feeling like we have to show something. We have to have something to show for whatever we're doing, right?
Yes.
And then we have a point to prove. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sis. I can have an iPhone, but that don't mean I need to buy it every time it's coming out new. It was funny. I was walking around the store. This is when I stay in my Droid, and I keep it in the case, so it will stay pretty good. Now, with an Android, it could fall, and it will survive to tell the story. iPhone, you got to be careful. Sometimes it might not make it. You might have to have a service. And the guy was like trying to get me to get a phone, and I told him what phone I had. He said, oh, you take good care of your phone. Yes, I do. Because we're not getting rid of it until it has died, no longer works, no longer charges, and we need to upgrade. We don't just upgrade the upgrade, but sometimes people feel like I got to upgrade, and we don't always necessarily have to upgrade. What's the deciding factor we should use or consider when considering to upgrade in anything in life that costs us some of our money?
Well, I know there are a lot of chit chat about good investment versus bad investment, or I say, hey, if it pays for itself, then it's an investment. And if it doesn't, then it's an expense. It's no longer investment. So what I say is make it an investment. If it is something you want to upgrade, go ahead and upgrade it, but make sure your investment pays for itself. Because if it doesn't pay for itself, it's just an expense. Now, if you keep stacking up your expenses and no investments, then you're going to be a little lopsided here. So that's how you determine whether it's worth it to upgrade whatever it is you're doing. Like, how is this going to? Am I going to allow this to pay for itself, or is it just going to be an expense?
Gotcha. So this leads me to my actual second question that I had, because we're talking words that to some are Greek. And Greek meaning like I've never heard that before. It's not really in my normal vocabulary. But banking, because a lot of us might use a credit union and things of that sort. Not credit union. Credit union is a bank too, or it can be check cashing places, right? And we know that they're taking more money than they're giving us. But yeah. So banking versus check cashing places. Budgeting, like, oh, I just said a bad word. I'm so sorry, because nobody wants to do that sometimes. But credit and investing are not really terms that we learned in school. So then we get out into the world and it's like a credit card. I'm excited. I got a credit card. I got a credit card. And then we didn't spend too much money, and we were not investing. We were not budgeting, and we were not banking very well. Why is it that these topics weren't taught in school? And what has been your mission to help us to learn more about these topics?
I can't give a good answer of why it's not taught in schools, right? Because it's like, we need it, right?
Yes.
Daily. We need it in our daily life, right?
Yes.
And instead of me kind of just going through trying to figure it out, I was like, I'm just going to start teaching it. I'm just going to start teaching it. I'm just going to call the school and email the school and see if people will let me come in for 20 minutes, 30 minutes and talk to the kids. And now it's over 120 schools that have, and universities that have allowed me to be able to come in and teach my classes. Some of them have contracts that I come every year, or every other month or whatever it may be. So it's kind of like you kind of, you have to, this is like, you hear people say, be the answer to the problem, right? Like, be the solution, right? And so I was just like, hey, let me just see if it's worth it, right? Because I think that our babies need it, obviously, right?
Yes.
So it just started there, and I created a full curriculum for kids starting at the age of 3. Started at the age of 3, going all the way up to college age, where I'm able to speak to them about everything: credit, budgeting, entrepreneurship, investing, like everything you just named, banking, all those things, real estate. We talk about a lot of stuff in our classes, and I just, I just figure start with what you have,
Yes. When I reflect on, grade school, show my age saying grade school too, huh? That's fine. But we did home economics where we learned how to cook. We did where we had to carry the baby around, so we had to do responsibility. We did a 5-pound bag of sugar when we did ours. Some did an egg, things that sort. But we were learning things to help us to be responsible adults and things. But money didn't really come up. Now math came up, but it was if A plus Y or equals this, and you're trying to figure that out. And I'm telling you, I have not really used that in my adulthood. Not to say it wasn't important. I just haven't used it. It's some people that went into a field where it was useful. But there's some things that we could feel that's not useful, and those things that are useful and beneficial is not taught on. Like money is such a big one. I remember going to college, I was like excited to get a credit card, but not understanding what interest meant on the credit card, or the fees that come with it. And sometimes what glitters is not always gold, because that card is silver and it's glittering. That card may be gold and it's glittering. If you got a black card, you're really doing something, and it got a different kind of glitter. But if we're not responsible enough to have it, it could be a challenge because nobody's reading the fine print. We're just signing stuff.
Yeah, and for some of us, unfortunately, that's our first real introduction to real money, right? Mm-hmm. Signing for student loan debt, right? It's the first time we've seen that many zeros behind our name, and it was for debt, right? And so, we have to do that. Even credit cards, like a lot of the young people that I speak to, the teenagers, they don't know the difference between a debit or credit card, right? Mm-hmm. And so, of course, once they go to college and they're like, hey, free money here, right? It's kind of how it's advertised. They don't know the difference if they don't have the education, if they weren't taught early, So we got to get it as early as possible. Just some type of conversation about money as early as possible. People are surprised when I say my class to start for 3-year-olds. They're like, what can you possibly teach a 3-year-old about money? I'm like, a lot, because they're asking for stuff that costs money. Right?
It costs money. I got that on my notes to come back to for sure. But a piece you said too of thinking that it's free money. It's not free money, friends. We got to pay that back. And y'all see how Biden was having trouble trying to get it approved to give us $10,000 away. But it's not free money. So really paying attention to know what that looks like. And then we have parents that are getting loans for their children. Or loans in general. Sometimes we're getting loans and don't have the capacity to pay them back, which is a concern if they're giving us the loan or who you're getting the loan from, because it's almost like a crab barrel where we're just trying to pull each other down. Nobody's getting up because we don't know no better, so we feel like this is where we're supposed to be, in debt altogether.
Yeah.
So going back to this 3-year-old, because that is pretty young, and babies are sponges when they're at their age. So how did that start to go that young to be able to say, hey, you can save money too. You can learn about money too. Well,
there are so many studies that show that our relationship with money is formed by the age of 7. So even on a subconscious level, your mind and your heart has determined whether money is your friend or your enemy, right? And it kind of governs the rest of our lives. Like it just governs how we relate to money moving forward, right? And then you see adults who are treating money like their enemy. They got to just give it away. It doesn't belong to me. And then you see others who are treating like it's their friend, right? They're taking care of it. They are holding on to it, right? And so I started to say, like, okay, what can I do to kind of just steer them in the right direction with having positive feelings and emotions and thoughts about money, since this is the time that their relationship is beginning to form the most, right? Their idea of concept of money and all those things. And so we kind of just, it started with like 10-year-olds and then going down a little bit more, and then going down a little bit more. And then our millionaire babies started bringing their younger siblings. And I'm like, okay, well, now we have a younger class.
Yes,
now we have, 3-year-olds, and we start talking about like, what is money? Like, what is it in the first place? Why do we even need it? Why is it important? What do we, in our money dreams and goals? I start them young of talking about, who do you want to donate money to when you're older? What cause do you want to live for? Like those kinds of conversations we start really early with our millionaire babies. All the babies in my classes are young millionaires in training. So
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. The part you said of by the age 7, you're at the mindset of what your feeling is for money. And it's interesting because I can recall some families that I work with in the ages and things of that sort. And and seeing their growth as they get older and things, they're starting how they respond. So if you're in a family where you were pinching corners, to try to make things happen, or you didn't really have and you were grateful, the hope is that you were grateful for what you did have, not understanding the capacity of what money really took. And things were cheaper possibly then, cost more now, because the dollar is not a dollar anymore. But how when you had the mindset of not having, you then tend to hold on to your money just a little bit more. You don't want to spend it. You're scared because, like, I never want to be in a place where I don't have money anymore. It doesn't freely flow for me, right? And then you have some, it's like, hey, I might not make it tomorrow. Let's spend it today. Carpe diem, YOLO, you only live once, right? And then you have those that are in the middle where it's like, I'm going to be smart with it, not to spend it too much, but I'm also going to treat myself. So how can we find that balance? Because some of us then become cheap too, because like, oh no, that's too much money, so let me get this. Because in having money and in being smart with our money, sometimes buying it cheap doesn't last as long as you would have did better if you just went on and bought the real deal and things of that sort. So how is that scale of helping us, millionaires and trainers that are listening and watching, to find that balance of not being so cheap, but also not being so frivolous, but finding a good, happy medium?
Yeah, we definitely want to live for today and plan for tomorrow, right? And part of that is a money plan, right? So some people do not like the B word, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I come up with interesting other terms for it, right?
Yes.
So part of that is having a money plan, right? So all of my clients, when we sit down, we build fun and all of the things you enjoy into the budget, right? I think that people assume that when they come to me, I'm going to give them a long list of things that they cannot buy, they cannot do, they cannot. I do not do that at all. Okay, y'all. First of all, I have over 100 pairs of shoes. I cannot tell anybody what not to buy. Okay. So we build it into the budget, though. Like we build it into the plan, right? So it's like, yes, you're going to go have fun on this trip and you're going to have so much fun because everything is already put in place that you don't have to worry about like the bills when you get back, right? Yes, you enjoyed, you deserve a trip, but you deserve to also fully enjoy that trip, right? Like to not have to worry about penny pinching or what's not going to get paid or if the lights are even going to be on when you get back, right?
Yes.
So we kind of lean with our one-on-one sessions and even our groups, we kind of lean on that balance, right? There's no such thing. If you come to me, you're not going to have a budget that doesn't have some level of some type of fun in it. Once a week, once a month, whatever, right? What is it that you want to do? If you tell me 4 trips a year is your thing, I'm gonna be like, yes, girl, let's figure out how we can make sure that we're going to make a trip fun. And we're going to figure out how you can have enough to go on every trip you want to go on and still have everything at home taken care of.
Yes, I love it. It's also being wise with the trips that we're trying to do, because sometimes you're like, oh, I want to go on this 10-day excursion. Not that you can't do it, but it takes some planning. You got to have a money plan. I like that. We're going to use money plan, friends. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm cussing at you if I say the word that starts with a B, ends with a T, and nudge you a little bit in the middle. But money plan, we want to have a money plan. I went on a trip this year. It's better. Don't always treat myself, and I'm doing better with that, friends. I'm doing better, so I want you to do better, but we got to be wise with it. And the dopeness was that it was a cruise and it was all inclusive. All inclusive was like, wow, it just was nice. You didn't need to worry about anything. It was all included. And sometimes you can get something that's all inclusive, but also shopping around. Sometimes we'll see something like, oh, I got to get it. And we don't like see what our options are. People don't believe in coupons. Couponing was really hot at one time where you'd be irritated, agitated if you got behind somebody that had 2 cartfuls and 25 coupons in their hand, but they were doing what they had to do with their money plan to ensure they was able to do what it is they wanted to do. If we wait till the last minute, sometimes flights could be a little bit more money. you know? So when we plan things, so a money plan, but also a travel plan of how far out should we plan for these things? Housing plan, you know, something is always going to happen if you're a homeowner. Oh, friends, it's a beautiful thing. It is. But if something happens, you got to cover that things. So if you rent and you got to, you know, lean to your landlord. However, in renting too, at any time they can say, you know what, we're going up $100. We're going up $200. We're selling the house. You have to move out. We never know what happens. So we have to have a plan to be able to show the money, know where it's going, what we're doing with it, and how we can make it work. So that's good. Money plan. Yes, that's good. Money plan. Yeah. Coin counter. My friend Camille, she's a budgeter. So money plan. Just gotta see where it's going. And then we joke around because like we like sushi and things. And you can go to the restaurant before you know, you didn't spend $30 on sushi. They were like, I could have rolled you up some rice. It's not the same. Let me go to my spot and get what I like. You know, but if I have a money plan, I budget it in my, you know, expenses for that week, that month, whatever. Or if I did $30 for my sushi, that means that I'm gonna eat whatever else I need to eat that's at home. I think as adults who we've learned that thing of how it's food at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But food outside is so much nicer sometimes, isn't it, Rachel?
Well, here's the thing. Again, I told you I've been doing this 10 years. And probably at this point, half my clients make a lot more than I do and the other half make less. But one thing we all have in common is that we overspend on food, right? Because food is not just food. Food is counseling, right?
Yes.
Food is grief therapy, right?
So you understand, yes.
Quality time, it is scenery, it is so many different things. When we're happy, we eat. When we're sad, we eat.
Yes.
When we're, celebrating, we eat. All these things, right? So I always go through these rooms and I say, hey, what's the number one thing you overspend on? I'm like, wait, I already know the answer. Everybody in here is going to say food, right?
Yes.
So it's just a thing.
But in that, we got to have a money plan forward.
Yeah.
So if I go out 2 days out of the 7 days, I need to have cooked to have some leftovers. But then we got the people that don't eat leftovers. All right. So we want to cook enough for that day so that we're not wasting food because food is expensive. And then having something for that, you know, next day, you know, the meal prep and things of that sort. Food is life. Yes, food is definitely one of the culprits. Yes, because if we don't eat, what are we doing? You know, we need food. But again, figuring out that money plan so that we're not overwhelming ourselves.
There's two things I always tell my clients when it comes to food. All right, one, always think 1 meal ahead. Because I can guarantee you're going to be hungry later on tonight and you're going to be hungry tomorrow, right? So if you're at the restaurant, go ahead and order another set of whatever you think you're going to want to eat tomorrow. Yeah. Or if you're ordering, you know, delivery, go ahead and order 2 of whatever, right? Yeah. Because at least you save money on delivery fee, deliver one time or save money on the tip one time. Yeah. And, you know, you have something for tomorrow, right? Or when you're cooking, you know, see if there's a way you can have 2 things going on at one time. Maybe you have the crock pot over here going while everything on the stove is going. So now we got 2 different meals happening all at the same time.
All at the same time.
And boom, we good for a couple of days.
Good for a couple of days. And we gotta be careful with that delivery fee. I was like, I was riding home the other day. I was so tired. I feel like cooking. I was like, I really could go for a hoagie from Major's, but I just don't feel like going. They was like, just order, get delivered. I was like, they do delivery? I was like, Jennifer, that's lazy. They're legit 5 minutes from your house, one. So you could cut a delivery fee. Because when you do a delivery, there's also what? A tip. Because the delivery is not necessarily a tip. It's part of some other fees that the restaurant has going on. So when we're planning that meal ahead, really encompassing all that entails. Because, and some restaurants do have, like, you know, the Olive Garden used to have, like, the $5 take a bowl home. Or, you know, having an appetizer so that when your meal does come, you take that home. Me and a friend, we went out, celebrate her birthday and things of that sort. By the time we had the appetizers, we went to Texas Roadhouse, friends. And if you ever had that bread and that butter, it's it. A little bit to drink, you're done. That meal was my lunch and dinner for the next day, you know? So it worked out good, but it doesn't always work that way. But if we think a meal ahead, I like that. Let me put that on my notes. Money plan and always think a meal ahead. Friends, y'all taking these notes? Because food is life. Okay. Another thing is I want us to touch on is in our housing, right? Being mindful of what it is that we're paying for with that. Because sometimes two people could get on like electric bill plans and things of that sort. And sometimes you feel like you're spending more than you would opposite and things of that sort. And there's a benefit in being on a plan. And it's nicer when they give you a credit because you did pay too much. But trying to find out how much I should look into with housing and trying to not drown myself before I get into this place, or I get in this place and then now I'm messing my credit because I couldn't maintain what I thought I could.
Yeah, if you're in the market to buy a home, or even within the next year or two, go ahead and start saving now. Go ahead and start working on your credit now. But be clear about how much home you can afford, right? Your home expenses should not be more than 50% of your take-home pay. So you first have to calculate your actual take-home pay. There's a lot of people living off their, gross, and it's really not, it's the net. The net is the number you need to be worried about, right? So,
and baby, when you take away the net from the gross, you done lost a lot of coins.
It becomes gross for real. Like, it's really gross how much they take away from you,
right? It's gross. And then Uncle Sam.
So, it's like, hey, if your employer says you make $60,000 a year, it's really more like 43-ish, right? So you really want to kind of just budget around it and plan around that, to just kind of say like, okay, I want to buy this home, but I also want to make sure I have enough for emergency money. Because again, if something happens, we have to be accountable for that. It's on our watch now. We bought the home, right? Or if other things come up, I still want to take my trips. I still want to have fun. I still want to go out with my girls while I'm paying all of my bills in my home, right? And also, again, don't ignore your credit. Start working on your credit. If you think that you're going to want to buy a home in the next year or two, this is the time to start working on your credit, right? The better your credit, the better your rates are going to be. And you can go from there. And so you want to control what you can control. There's a lot of things happening, inflation and interest rates and all types of things that are happening that are beyond our control. We don't want to put our energy there, right? But there's a lot of things that we actually can control, and we want to focus on what those things are and how can we prepare ourselves. We don't panic, we prepare. Right. And so when we're talking about the recession, when we're talking about the possibility of another shutdown or anything like that, you may hear people out there saying or whatever, you don't want to panic, you want to prepare. You want to say, hey, well, glad I got this information up front just in case. I want to prepare for whatever may come.
I like that. We have a couple of witnesses in the audience. Your net is gross. Yuck. Absolutely. You be so excited. We're going to pay you. I'm like, yes. You get the check and be like, what? You ever see like the videos of the kids and they get their first check? It was like $100, and like, sweetie, keep on living. Keep on living. They take a little bit more as you go a little higher. But yes, it is utterly disrespectful. But this part that Belinda said was good too, of how, thinking credit was lost on the latter generation, because most of our grandparents put their savings under their beds. So that's another word we want to talk about a little bit too, of savings. Is it beneficial to have it under your bed, or should we put it in the bank?
Well, if you have it under your bed and something happens in the house, then it's all gone. If you have it in the bank and something happens, you're going to be able to get it back, right? Because it's FDIC insured, right? So you want to be, so I know generational wealth is a big buzz term that's been floating around, right? And I always say two main parts of that we don't dig into enough is holding on to it long enough to pass it down, right? In most cases, if you have it under your bed, it's probably because you don't have too much to be able to pass down, right? Because if you had a whole lot, it'd be too much to be sleeping on to be uncomfortable, right? So
it would be. You're right.
You want to hold on to it enough, long enough to be able to pass it down. We all know people just throughout history who have had it at one point, they don't have it anymore, right? The second part of that is making sure that the next generation knows what to do with it, how they can keep it, how they can multiply it to keep it going, because 70% of wealth is lost in second generation, and then 90% is lost in third generation. So that's just your grandbabies, right? So the numbers are going to be a lot more important. When I mean the numbers, I mean your balances and your credit, and those things are going to be a lot more important as we shift into, you know, this next generation that we're going into. Like our grandparents were able to dance around it because unfortunately they didn't have the access to that we have, right? But we do, and so we have to do better with the access and the information that they didn't have.
Friends, we gotta do better. We gotta do better, which means that goes back to our quote of investing. We gotta invest in the knowledge to know how to do better, right? Because we'll think that, oh, it's working out great, or grandma has a life insurance plan, and then grandma passes, and their life insurance plan barely covers because it was a loophole. Because life insurance plans don't normally like to really pay out the money. But if it's legit, you had it for some time, and you've been investing to prepare for, you know, those things, then you're good. But again, you got to do education on that, and that's not always something that's really done in our community. I guess because we think we don't need it, you think?
I think that, I think that the education part is like the stairs. It's like taking the stairs.
Yeah.
And I think that what we have floating around a lot now is that a lot of people are looking for the elevator when it comes to building wealth. But wealth is built slowly over time. And a lot of us don't want to hear that, right? Like a lot of us don't want to hear that. I teach kids and I teach adults. And a lot of people ask me, like, which one would you prefer? Although I don't have a preference, I will say that the adults always worry about time. How long is this going to take me? How long, if I multiply, if I do this, if I invest, the children never ask me about time. They never ask me, how long is it going to take? They just want the information. And so I think that's part of the education is the real education is knowing that it will take time. And a lot of people don't want to hear that.
That's because we like the microwave. We want it to be done in no time. We want to put $5,000 in today, and it'd be $20,000 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And though it would be nice if money did grow on trees like that, that doesn't always happen. And then again, if you're in stocks and stuff of that sort, some people are doing phenomenal and things of that sort. But you will also want to have somebody that's reputable and know what they're doing, because you can give them their money. You give them your money, and they don't know what they're doing, and now you have no money. You know. Yeah. But I like that the young children are like, all right, let's rock out. Let's do it. Because they're trying to learn. They're still in that sponge mentality in a sense. But us as adults is like, I done tried this a couple times. I tried it on my own. I tried this money plan, and it wasn't working. Because like you said, like how long it's going to take. We get a job. They say you're going to get $30,000 a year. 30,000 divided by, okay, that's what it's looking like. And again, it's still yucky because it's the net, not your gross, you know, because you find out what the big plan will look like. But once Uncle Sam take their money, if you owe anybody some money, they taking that too. And then by the time you get it, it's yuckier than what you thought it was when you first started. But if we are mindful, and so because sometimes the money that's being taken out of because we plan poorly, and now they come to get their money, things like so. And then sometimes, unfortunately, it's child support, or different things like that that's taken from your check as responsibilities that we have. So I'm not saying that it's easy, but when we get with somebody who is a professional, like our friend over here, she can help us to plan a little bit better, and see what it looks like. But it's not always easy. I like the education, like taking the stairs. It's going to cost some work. It's not an elevator to get to the top. You got to go step by step. And sometimes you'll get to floor 5 and you'll be like, am I there yet? No, you got to go a little bit higher to get what it is that you need. So I think the first time we really learned about money was when we got allowance. I'm not sure that kids get allowance now. They kind of just ask mom and dad for money and they get it, or they don't get it. Or mama says, I don't have it. And then they go and buy themselves something. And the kid's like, but you said you don't have it. Then we got another conversation we got to do. So in my lane of trying to normalize the importance of mental health and talking things out, I like that you're trying to normalize the importance of talking about money, talking about finances, because we don't talk about it enough. We just feel like it's going to keep coming every 2 weeks. And then we have a pandemic and it shuts down. It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
And we're not prepared.
Nope.
Because we didn't save nothing, which leads me to saving. So my money plan, I might have to save. Oh my goodness.
You should. You should. I mean, a lot of us are dependent on our credit cards, or again, we're borrowing from other people because our credit cards are maxed out, or because we can't get one. And we need to have. And people say that it's wrong to say save for emergencies, because it's kind of like, hoping for bad things to happen. I'm like, I can guarantee you're going to have something that's going to come up that you did not expect is going to come up, that's going to cost you more than you want to pay. And so for sure, it could be anything from a flat tire to whatever, right? A call from your kid's school about a project or a trip or whatever, right? That they conveniently forgot to tell you about, right? So, even if you don't want to call it an emergency fund, we call it freedom fund. We call it peace fund, right? So what is going to allow you, my company is called Miss and Peace Financial Group, because my mission has always been to give you little nuggets of peace on the road to financial freedom, right? And so is it going to help you sleep better at night if you have some money saved? Is that part of your peace? And that's your peace fund, right? If you have at least one paycheck saved, is that going to make you feel better? Are you going to have less anxiety, right? Are you going to be, are you going to be a little bit clear-headed when you're dealing with your children, right? Are you not going to be so short-tempered, right? Then we need to get you closer to peace. So that may be having some money stashed, for a rainy day, a snowy day, or a sunny day. That still is expensive, right? Even sunny days are expensive these days, right?
They are.
So, okay.
I need ice cream, or I need
a
refresh me. Yes.
So yeah, you should save. You should have some money saved in that peace fund for sure.
And friends, I can't tell you, like, there's a piece that also comes from when you have paid your rent, mortgage for that month. You've paid Mr. Electric, Mr. Gas, Mrs. Water, whatever pronouns you want to put on them, but you pay water, gas, electric, your roof, because you want to have that roof over your head, your car note, your insurance, you bought your SEPTA pass if you're catching a bus and things of that sort. There's a piece that comes when all your responsibilities for that month are taken care of. It's a nicer piece when we got a couple coins left over to do some things for ourselves, but again, it comes with that planning to make sure that we're doing the things we need to do. Some people are trying to make sure electric stays to the right seat. So please turn that light out. Keep that off. We can use a candle. We can use a flashlight. We don't need that. You can see. Put the TV on. You can see with the light from the TV. You don't need that on. Why that water running? Why you got the refrigerator door open? All these different things, right? We joke around about it. But if we're that intentional about saving and cutting whatever corners we can to make sure that we're within our confines of our money plan, that helps us to be so much more successful and you feel at ease. So if I can't go out to get me that meal, I'm like, hey, I still got a roof over my head. And hope is that I did do some grocery shopping to have some groceries in the house to cover it. But then also not being too bougie that we can't go to a food truck where they're giving away food. Shout out to my god sister Jeannie. I went grocery shopping at her house the other day. Sometimes we could do that too, You could find somebody else to go grocery shopping, but it's all in your plan of figuring out how to work out your money to not spend beyond our means. Because if we do that, what happens?
Sound like a negative to me.
Oh, man. I thought I had it. And again, friends, sometimes it does happen where you feel like you were doing right and then something slipped, because some of us do these the pay in fours and things of that sort of, you forgot that fourth was coming out and it took the money out and you thought you was able to do a little something because we didn't plan correctly. Back in the day we had a checkbook so we could check and balance, and now we playing games with this app and hoping that everything really got to the app and really came out when we thought it came out, and then we overspend it. So we got to be careful. I heard a thing too of not spending money before it's in your hands.
Yeah. And by the way, we all do that.
Of course.
We all do it.
Sorry, excuse me. We want to take a pause for the calls. So my God sis just said, love you, sis. You could come anytime. Everybody, all my witnesses.
I love you too, sis. I'm coming too.
Yeah. She spoils me. She'll cook. She'll do everything. I'm spoiled a little bit. I feel like I saw the tag. Is it yours? Prepare plus empower plus push.
Yes.
How did you get that tag? I like that.
So Pep is my nickname that
Yeah.
I've had since birth. And so I wanted to kind of like expand it out to mean something other than what my family calls me. But Pep, prepare, empower, push. So that has just been my mission just all around. Anything that I do, whether I'm mentoring, whether I'm doing motivational speaking, whether I'm, being a teacher for financial literacy, or whether it's just me and my one-on-one clients, right? I want to prepare you for the future, for what's coming, even if it's the next minute, even if it's the next day. I want to empower you with all the information, all the tools, right? I'm not the person to just tell you what to do with your money. No, I'm going to give you all your options, and I'm going to empower you to take the power back so you make the decision that's best for you, that fits you and fits your lifestyle and fits your goals, right? And then I'm going to push you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to let you know that it's possible. Financial freedom is possible. Financial peace is possible. Luxury is possible. All these, being debt free is possible, right? I have a perfect credit score. And part of that was like, hey, I'm pushing for this goal because I just want people to know it's possible. It's absolutely possible. And so that's the push part, right? It's hard for you. Again, going back to our grandparents, right? I think that a lot of them just didn't see it happening. They just didn't see it happening. They just didn't see people being debt free. They didn't see people doing really good with their credit that they know of, right? And investing and all that stuff. They didn't really see it. And so we don't have that excuse anymore. I want to make sure that we don't have that anymore, right? And so that's just, I don't go a day without doing those things: prepare, empower, and push.
Friends, so let's not get stuck. Let's prepare, get empowered, and that push. And sometimes we don't like that push, but the results that push brings makes it all worth it. Makes it all worth it. Prepare, empower, push. Because we don't want to get stuck, friends. It's not a fun place being stuck or feeling like you don't have it together. But if we take a moment in our day to really figure that out. And again, we're in the 8th month of the year, a couple months left. Whatever it is that you thought that you was going to start off in January, there is still time to prepare, be empowered, and push yourself to hit that goal by December. And it looks different for everybody. So we talking about saving. You'd be surprised how big $20 from a check could do. Why? Because it's a push. It wasn't what you was doing before. And if you're doing that, oh, that's nothing. Let me add another $5. Let me add another $5. Before you know, you're saving $100 and you're not missing it because you're prepared. You're empowered because you're thinking about tomorrow, and you keep on pushing. You have a book, Amber's Magical Savings Box. How did this come along? Who is Amber? Is Amber named after somebody you know?
Amber is my niece. My niece, she actually passed away in the city of Philadelphia at the age of 3. And so I wanted to be able to kind of, just allow her to live on and share her legacy. But also, again, that was around the time where I was starting to read those stories and those facts and statistics about how our relationship with money is formed at such a young age. And at the time, I had already been a personal finance coach for adults for a few years. And the number one thing everyone says is, I wish I learned this when I was younger. I wish I learned this when I was younger, right? And so I wrote this book. It's for ages 3 to 10 to just kind of be that same thing. Let's push them in a positive direction. We're having good vibes, good feelings, good emotions when they think about money, right? Not negative things, not hurtful things. When I go to teach these classes, we play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in the beginning of our classes. And there's always kids who say they don't want to be wealthy because wealthy people are bad people. And all the people they know who are nice are poor. And then the people who have a lot of money on TV or on these movies or whatever are doing all kinds of things, right, to people, right? And so they say, I don't want to be wealthy. Like they're afraid. They're literally afraid of money because their parents have taught them to be nice. And they think that money is going to make them not be nice anymore. And so I always tell them I'm on a mission to make sure some good people get some good money. Because I don't want to continue to hear 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds tell me I don't want to be wealthy because I don't want to be a bad person, right? So that's part of, again, the book is interactive. So it asks them like, who do you want to donate money to when you get older? Like, how do you want to make money work for you, right? And we just paint this picture for them to have those positive images and those positive feelings about money early on.
Friends, we be thinking that children aren't paying attention. They are paying attention to know how we're responding when we want to come up, how we respond when we want to come down, and in between. So we had to take it in. I was sharing with a friend. She was like, the kids were just repeating what they heard their parents say. They don't even understand what their parents were saying, but they were repeating it. I said, can y'all stop saying that in front of my babies? Because they taking it and running with it, and they don't even really know what it means. Let's be grateful for where we are right now. The future will bring something different, but being grateful where we are. So children are picking it up. So if you got money, friends, we got to be a little nicer because we're messing up our future millionaires. You know, or they'll become a millionaire. They're not going to tell nobody because they don't want to be mean. They want to be nice. And how well that speaks volumes of them wanting to be nice and not be mean. I love it.
Yeah.
I saw the mom, she had created a game where it was like flashcards and it was like all the different things that you need for related to money. So it was like wealth, tax, budget, money plan, 401k, and it's funny because I saw this person, they quit the job. They was like, can I get my 401k now? That is not what it meant. Again, friends, we got to find out what 401k really is. This retirement doesn't mean when you quit, you get 400. Yeah. But in that, again, I'm so grateful that you are in the schools teaching these things because we don't realize the benefits of wealth and what that looks like. We don't understand taxes. Sometimes I don't understand taxes when I filed them and I found out that I owe money. Like, what happened? And then I'm like, Jesus, give me a baby so I can get some money back. And that is more that comes with that. I'm being just a little dramatic with it. But again, planning to be able to have it together can be challenging. But it's so great that you're doing this effort to teach them at such a young age. And even the adults, because even though the adults are coming and saying, how long would it take it? They still realize there was a need. They still realized they needed your services because what they was doing wasn't working out. They 1 + 1 was still equaling 0, and they didn't understand the math wasn't mathing. So again, as I said before we even started, like, thank you so much for your yes to do this because it's so needed. And then your mission, I saw how you want to help the adults find that peace while taking control of their finances, because there's nothing like having peace with securing your livelihood. And it's like the piece I was saying of like, you know, when your bills are paid, it's all right. You know, it brings you that peace. And I really like the peace fund too of just a rainy day. You know, I'm going to start me a peace fund. I got a couple of them going, but I'm going to start another one because it helps to just give you that cushion where you feel like secure, like, it's okay, because unexpected expenses come. You said that car with the tire, but you could go for inspection. And I tell you, that machine to find everything. Ain't nobody told it to be so thorough, but keep on doing what you're doing, machine, and tell me what's happening so I can get it fixed. And before you know it, you almost feel like you got to rob people to PayPal. But if we have a peace fund, if we have planned for our money, we know our inspection is coming at that whatever time of year every year. So make sure we put a little extra to the side to help us so that we don't feel as bad when they tell us it's a little bit more than what we did put to the side, because we at least halfway there, 3/4 there, you know. But
yeah, it's the idea of like, hey, if you're driving on the road and you see somebody just sitting on their car, you're probably going to drive by them. But if you see someone pushing a car, you're probably going to get out and try to help them, right? And so it's like, hey, even if because people, we don't save because it's like, oh, it's only $5. It's not much I can do with $5. It's only $10. But all of that adds up when you need some money, right? So if you have a flat tire situation, right, and it costs $200 and you have $150, well, it's going to be much easier for you to get the other $50 than it would be if you didn't slowly try to save something and if you had nothing, right? If you're going to borrow some money, you might, it sounds better to be like, hey, I have more than half of what I need now. All I need is this, right? People are going to be more willing to help you out or whatever the case may be, right? So I tell people, when you're thinking about saving, thinking about you are pushing your own car up the hill, right? You're pushing your own car, right? And then you are, sowing the seed and going in the right direction, and the help will come.
I love it. Now, I ain't going to hold you. If somebody pushing their car, How the times is these days. I'm
You're
gonna
not
call.
helping.
I'm gonna call. My help is different from your help. You said you were gonna help Bush. I'm gonna call somebody to help him. Tow truck, police officer. Because so much is happening. So when I said it, just be safe, friends, because it's a lot happening in these streets.
But either way, you're still gonna be more willing to help because
Yeah.
you're gonna see the need, right? Like if somebody's just sitting on top of the car, you don't know what they could be doing. They could be whatever, right? You don't know what the need is. You don't have a clue, right? But if you see what's happening, you see someone making progress, you see someone trying, you see the need. So yeah, you're gonna be more willing to help.
Yes. And that's the other benefit too when you're trying, because sometimes people be like, "Can I get $5?" What you doing to try to get more than $5? You know, when you put forth effort of trying to do something. I don't always carry cash, but like it'll be guys I work downtown. They're always willing to open up the door at Wawa. Their game or their goal is to try to get a couple coins and things from you, but they're trying to do something. So they're trying to put forth effort. That's their hustle of trying to do it. But when you see somebody that's trying, you want to push them a little bit more, encourage them just a little bit more to keep on going. Yes, I need help pushing. I got you, sis.
We all do. Do.
And that makes you feel good too when people come together to really help you on whatever it is your goal and purpose is. It's not always easy because sometimes you may have it, sometimes you may not have it, but sometimes you may have a resource. I was watching this thing and the girl was saying to the guy, "Yeah, I need some food." And he was like, sending her some information for some food banks and things of that sort. And she felt some type of way because she thought he was going to come and spend his money. Guys budget too, sis. And sometimes they get the bad end of the stick because they're trying to budget like, no, I didn't budget for that kind of date. I budgeted for this, coffee only or tea only. When we get upset, but we got to be able to respect when they're trying to, budget too. And they also trying to find out if it's going somewhere. And you should be doing the same thing too before we going all out $500 meals and things. And that's exaggeration. I mean, you might be getting $500 meal, God bless. But, the pieces of respecting people in their budget when they're saying, I can't because of my budget and things of that sort. See, we love a man with a budget. I love anybody with a budget where we're trying to be mindful and thinking of tomorrow and not just today, because today is great. But I wake up tomorrow, I want to make sure I still got a roof over my head, a little gas in the car to get me so I don't got to push too far, But it's really, really good to be able to have a plan of what your money is doing. We've heard of like rappers and things that start where they got into some situations, but the girl they were with was like, no, we want to invest this, and how we got to flip and things of that sort. So we want to be smart. We want to invest and knowing how to manage our money so that we can make our money do what it do. We could like, show me the money. Oh yeah, I got it. Portfolios galore where I've been doing what I need to do. And it's hard sometimes because we don't always know, but if we can connect with somebody that does know what they're talking about. We can plan good. We have a peace fund. We can prepare, empower, and get pushed because sometimes we do need that push. But again, friends, the other thing too is if I'm going to get the help, when she told me I got to cut something out, something in my throat, I got to cut it out though, The dramatics, I gotta cut that out.
We don't cut things out. We cut things in. We bring things in. We don't cut things out. We bring things in. We bring freedom in. We bring peace in. We bring investing in. We bring generational wealth in. We don't cut things out. We just bring things in.
Okay. I like even better, friends. But it might cause for a sacrifice because we can't keep on going to the restaurant every day, all day. I can't be buying breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Even having money like that. What's the baby name that created Facebook? They, like teasing things that serve, but had on a black shirt and khakis. I mean, he's probably had on other things, but a lot of times when they catch him in a picture, that's something he got on. Because it doesn't always take that much to be doing those different things, But I mean, if you got it, rock out. But whatever your money plan is, and whatever it is you're doing to push yourself to make sure you got it, is really, really important. This is good. What any other books you have, Rachel? Did I miss another? Do you have another book?
I have an ebook, a personal finance ebook, which is really a workbook. So it's kind of like the feeling of taking your favorite personal finance coach home with you. And there are 50 finance tips in there, and there are actually activities and exercises to do. If you're single, there's a section for that. If you're in a couple, if you're dating, there's a section for that. If you're married, there's a section for that. And so it's just something that you can kind of just use over and over again. And there are some things in there that I specifically even do with my clients one-on-one. So it's literally like taking me home with you in a workbook, and that is on my website as well.
Got you. No, I'm gonna check that book out because I feel like that's one, I like a workbook. Because you get to write down what it is you're thinking, what you're feeling, and things of that sort. And it's so important to be able to write it down. I feel like having a takeaway, it just means the world, because like I could read a book for days and things of that sort. But if I don't have a takeaway, like what did it do for me, things of that sort. Friends, you get to take your favorite finance coach home with you in the form of an ebook for only $15. Friends, go get that book. It is on the website. Let me put it up here so y'all can see it, because I don't want y'all to say that I didn't give it to y'all and y'all didn't know and things of that sort, because y'all gonna play them games and I don't want to do that. Let me put that up there on the screen for you. Give me a second.
There we go. All the money from the ebook goes to our Millionaires in Training classes. So it goes straight to a fund that allows me to be able to travel and teach our kids about money, get the supplies for them and things like that. And so it goes, when you invest in yourself, you're investing in our future millionaires as well. Every single penny goes to them.
Friends, we do not have to miss peace. She is giving us peace every step that we need. And again, when we buy books, and I'm the queen of buying a book and not reading them all, but when I need them, it's there. But this one I'm gonna really read. I love it. I like a workbook because I like to write it down. Sometimes being able to see it just puts a different perspective on it, of saying like, oh wait, I spent all that on that. Okay. There's some other things I want to do. How can I reinvest them in it? Do I really need all of that? You know, I'm not gonna talk about your 100 shoes. Because even in that, like when you are experiencing life and enjoying life, you still want to be able to treat yourself. But your treat might be different from somebody else's treat, but still making sure that it's within our money plan and it's appropriate with our life. So friends, y'all head over to this website, okay? I promise this book is going to be good. Why? Because it's a workbook to help us to get towards financial freedom. And it's no better feeling than knowing that you don't owe Tom, Paul, John, Michelle, Rachael, whatever names you want to think of, you know. It's nice to have that peace. So friends, we want to get a peace fund because education is taking its stairs. That was really good. I like that. I like that part too of don't panic, prepare. Friends, we don't got to panic. Let's just prepare. And think a meal ahead. You gave me some good nuggets. I'm excited. And that you in 120 schools, sis. You're doing the thing. Please keep doing that because, again, like I said, I did not learn this in school. I didn't learn this in college either. And ironically, they have financial counselors, but they're not teaching nothing about them loans. They're telling you where to sign. I don't feel like they broke it down for me how I feel like you going to break it down for me in this book. So, friends, y'all go over to her website. Yes, book. We talked about this last week of supporting our friends with books. Come on. Get yourself a book that's going to help you to budget and get to financial freedom. No matter how old you are, right? 3 to 99.
Yep. The Amber's Magical Savings Box is for kids ages 3 to 10, and the ebook is for all ages.
Got you. So again, the book is available as well. Amber's Magical Savings Box. Be sure to get that for a baby that you know. Christmas is coming up. Holidays coming up. You know what? I don't even want to say that because you might not celebrate a holiday. You might not celebrate Christmas. You can get it just because you are sowing into that millionaire in training life. Books are also available on the website. So please be sure to check out her website to get that book, the Amber's Magical Savings Box, and or the pep talks, prepare, empower, and push. Rachel, what's something that you want us to walk away with? I'm excited. I'm ordering my book today. But what's something?
Well, you have two options. You can either change or you can stay the same. I would encourage you to change, but I'm giving you the option to choose. But you can only do one. You can either change or you can stay the same.
change or stay the same. I mean, you know how you ever been at something and they was wrapping it up and summing it up and they pulled you together so well? That simple line pulls us together so well. Change or stay the same. And that's in so many different aspects. Change or stay the same. She dropped the mic. That one was good. That was good. Change or stay the same. Because staying the same doesn't always work. We gotta adjust. One, we're ever growing. So we always going to change. See? I'm still trying to get myself together. It was a mic drop. Change or stay the same. That was good. I thank you so much. You can either change or stay the same. Friends. It reminds me of this song growing up. You could get with this or you could get with that. You could get with this or you could get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that or you can get with this because this is where it's at. So that change is where it's at. Okay, friends, we have to adjust and change. And it's okay to do so. Why? Because we were born for this. We're going to get prepared, empowered, and we got to push. So again, please, please, please reach out to our website. If you have a school that you work at, it's a power and referral because this is something that needs to be talked about. If you're doing a workshop somewhere, y'all call her because she's going to come and help y'all out, because this is what her heart is to do. As talking to her, you sort of just glow up and sharing about these things of prepare, empower, and push from a nickname that she got and how she wants to build on that. Yes, come on. Hope said, I'd rather change. Me too, sis. Because
you got the right name, baby. Hope, you got the right name. You got to change it.
Yes, you got the right name. Yes, I did. All shucks. Yes, we got to get in our business. So again, change or stay the same. I do thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in. I thank you so much for joining us. I wish you a great, great evening. Thank you again. I'm going over to the website when I get off. Please believe me. Please believe me. Why? Because I want to change. I can't stay the same. If I want to get out the pit, I got to make sure I'm doing what I got to do. So again, I thank you so much for joining us, Rachel. May you have a great, great evening.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, friends, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was really good. Change or stay the same. And that's not always easy, but I promise you, if you do it, there is reward in it. Don't forget our quote of the day. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And that's by Benjamin Franklin. Tonight, I hope that you invest in this knowledge. I hope that you apply it because it will pay the best interest. One of our guests said that, we're so close to September. We definitely are. September is a couple days away. So make the rest of this month count. I do hope that you have a great Monday. Next Monday, we will not be on because it's a holiday, but be sure to join us for next month for Jen's Boot Camp. Check out what we have coming up.
Hey, Chosen friends. Be stronger than your excuses. Tune in to the Jen Care September series, Jen's Boot Camp. On Monday, September 11th, we will have Carmel Williams for Forgive and Forget. Then we will have Dr. Deshonda Williams for Stable Foundation on Monday, September 18th. We will close out on Monday, September 25th with Isaiah Banks for Maintaining Fitness. Tune in on Facebook or on YouTube by searching Chosen Counselors on Mondays at 8 p.m. Be sure to mark your calendar and tell a friend, as this Jen Care series is brought to you by Chosen Counselors.
Hey, Chosen friends. So be sure to join us as we kick that off in September. I am so excited. It's going to be good. We always got some good topics, some good guests to really get in our business to help get us together. I do love and appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to be a guest, be sure to email us at info@chosencounselors.com. We are scheduling for October and November, and I am just excited to always be able to bring some information to you. So if you want to be a guest, send me a message, DM me, let me know, so that we can get you on to talk about something to help bring the information will bring the community to our viewers. I thank you all so much again for tuning in for our All Shucks series this month. I hope that you did enjoy it. I do love and appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you have a great evening. Friends, those who tuned in last week and said you were going to do your reading, I've been reading. I don't know if you started yet, But September 1st is on and popping. I'm tagging y'all. We starting that challenge, all right? So making sure that we're reading at least 20 minutes a day for 30 days. We could do it. I believe in each and every one of you. Again, I hope that you have an amazing week, an amazing night. Show me the money. Invest in yourself, friends. I promise you it will pay off. I love y'all for real. Until next time, good night.
Friends, we thank you for joining Jen Cares this week. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Unable to watch us live? Be sure to find us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also visit our website, chozencounselors.com. That's Chozen with a Z, to stay in the know and most of all, never miss a show. If you found value in this show, we'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend. Most of all, be sure to tune in for our next episode as we specialize in bringing the community to you.